to give everyone just a few minutes to join in since the room just opened up, and then we'll get started here. All right, I thank all of you for coming to this roundtable discussing security on a tight budget, which is a topic near and dear to all of our hearts, I'm certain. This one is being sponsored by Brooks Network Services. We definitely got to thank our partners, because without them, we would not have this lovely conference and all the wonderful prizes that everyone loves. So a little bit about Brooks Network Services. They are an award-winning IT solutions provider and network integrator. For nearly 3 decades, they've partnered with leading OEMs and IT industry leaders to digitally transform customer organizations and ensure they're getting the very most from their technology investments. The solutions architects and engineers design, build, deliver, and manage IT solutions and services for customers of all sizes and from a wide variety of industries. At Brooks Network Services, they enable their staff to transform the latest tech innovations into customer solutions, in turn helping their customers and partners become more competitive in the marketplace and deliver an enhanced end user experience. Enjoy greater profitability, throughput, stability, and most of all, a sustainable partnership with Brooks Networks and their partners. So thank you very much to them for sponsoring this session and also this conference. So security on a tight budget is the discussion. We all face this constantly. It's always a battle of time, money, effort. Where do you spend it to get the best return on your investment, the best bang for your buck? A little bit about me. My name is Travis Johnson. I'm the IT security engineer for Gaston County. I came from a network background before taking over the security role. So I'm hoping to learn a lot from you guys in the process of this. I have a few questions that I have to get us started in discussions, but this is a roundtable, so please feel free to jump in, answer, ask your own questions. You can hit me up in the chat if you want me to ask a question for you. So please participate. Otherwise, I will spend my time just telling you guys about my last round of golf, which no one wants to hear that. So to get us started with our first question, what is one thing that your organization does that you feel provides you the best return on your money or time? Just the best value. For instance, for us, I would think it's our patching process. We have really formalized that. We have every 2 weeks a patch window, so we stay very current on our Windows patches, and those processes allow us to pivot quickly in emergencies like the Exchange incident from recently. We were able to get that patch very quickly because we already had the process in place. So does anyone else have an item like that that you feel really gives you a good return on your time and money?
Hey, Travis, if you don't mind, I'm going to share. For patch management, since you touched on it, I just want to share with the group here that we, probably about 3 years ago, started using Manage Engine's patch management solution. Now, they have all kinds of different bells and whistles and modules, but part of their Desktop Central product, they have a patching solution. And that really was a game changer for us, because for most folks, it's a nightmare to find the time to be able to sit down and patch not only your desktops, workstations, laptops, mobile devices, but also the servers. And then working with libraries who have public access computers locked down, that was just a real good fit for us. And that system is pretty smooth. So if anybody's interested in that or learning more about that, they can reach out to Pender County government and talk to the IT shop here. And we'd be glad to, on the side, help anybody out or give them some pointers. Not sure if anybody else is using that solution, but it's been very good for us. We did use SCCM, I think it was, in the past, and it was just a little bit too much for us to manage.
Was that pretty easily to get it implemented and up and running fairly quickly, or was that a big overhead in time to get it going?
The easy the easy path is to have a third party come in, implement it, provide training. But I will tell you that for that solution, we did it in-house. It wasn't that cumbersome at all. We just had to put a little bit of time to the side, work through it. I don't want to make it sound like everything was easy when we went through that process, but it honestly was not that bad.
And Eric, what was the name of that product again?
It's a Manage Engine. And right now we're running their Service Desk Plus, their Desktop Central solutions. We're running their AD Manager Pro, their analytics. So we're really invested into that. And I'll tell you what, it's just made IT operations as a whole much more efficient, streamlined, and it's come a long ways from where we were just a few years ago. So it's good to have the right tools. You do have to pay a little bit for it, but it's not like Spiceworks or some of the other free type solutions out there that, they give you a little bit, and for your shop, it may be enough. We were just looking for a little bit more as far as inventory, purchasing, mobile device management, and we were able to get all that through Manage Engine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Tony.
Yeah, we use some of their other products at Gaston County, been pretty happy.
Yeah.
So one thing that we have really been fortunate for is the county never had like a imaging server or like a service. We spun up Windows deployment tools, and that has saved us a lot of time. We come into the situation of, if a computer or drive fails or whatnot, you just pretty much hit a couple buttons and it's ready to go.
I will say this, Manage Engine, we use their imaging solution and application deployment tools. They work great. We were using that same solution you just mentioned. Earl Moore, our operations manager, had it fine-tuned, brought it over here, used it. Again, we're just looking for tools that gives us more bells and whistles. It sounds like I'm trying to sell Manage Engine, right? I am not a salesman. But it's just nice when you find that one product that could take care of you in multiple ways for security, patching, and whatnot. So,
yeah, one of the things that we're using there, we use ConnectWise through our MSP that does our patching and also allows for remote access and things of that nature. It also lets us set up scripts and so forth and push out different applications. But I did have to go through the process of looking at a separate MDM for our mobile device management tool. Wish I would have knew more about the Manage Engine before we went that route with that.
gotcha. And just because you mentioned mobile device management, and sorry if I talk too much, folks, but I will tell you, we use another product for another local municipality called Simple MDM. And that's a pretty easy, smooth system as well. It's pretty cost effective, and that solution also worked well. It's called Simple MDM.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, this is Bob in Rocky Mount. How big is your environment that you're supporting with Manage Engine?
Yeah, so I'll say we have about 100 computers, if that helps you out. We probably have about 20 different locations, departments here in Pender County. We're not a large local government, but we're big enough with the consolidation of the sheriff's office now that these tools have been invaluable. So it's been good to have them.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say we use some of their AD tools and management, and they do scale very well. Because we have like 1,500 AD accounts, and their tools scale from the smaller environment I've used them in up very easily.
Yeah, and everybody might appreciate when you do work with a third party, you want to have good support, and they've been, I say, fairly decent. We haven't really had any hiccups, and I think the team's pleased.
Hey, Eric, it's Helen. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Helen, how you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, on the Manage Engine, is that a per user or per device licensing?
Oh, Lord, great question. I'm going to say it's per device.
Okay.
I'll circle back around to you just to confirm that.
Okay. Just took a quick glance at them. They got some tools that integrate that we have multiple tools to utilize. So we may want to take a road trip and come see you.
Sure, yeah, that'd be fine. And I'll also throw this out here. We didn't take just purchasing Manage Engine lightly. We worked with Infotech Research Group, who also is a business partner in NCLGISA. And we went through, several different vendors doing due diligence to make sure that we were selecting somebody who's the right fit for us. So lucky enough, we had buy-in from leadership. The board supported it, and we were able to spend a little bit of money on what I'll say the IT service management tool, which is Manage Engine. So, there's some work to be done. You have to have buy-in from the departments. They want bells and whistles. They want to know what computers they have. They want to know when they're audited, if they're patched. And that's good information to be able to present, not only to the top level from the board down, but all the way to an end user who might have a particular question.
All right. Let's see. It's another. Does anyone else have like a favorite free or low cost tool that you absolutely can't live without or has really helped you out? For me, it's Sublime Text. It's a really great text editor that does multi-line editing, some other things that when I was doing network configs a lot, it really saved me a ton of time, and it's just fantastic. So does anyone else have some good like free tools that you can share with the group to help out?
Was that Sublime Tech? Is that what you said?
Yep, Sublime Text.
Sublime Tech. All right. I don't know if you want to consider this free, but work at the multi-state ISAC. What is that? Information Sharing Analysis Center, and their CIS folks. They have several tools, and I'm sure the IT strike teams might touch on it later in a different session. But a lot of those are free to you. All you got to do is sign up as a member, and you can take a lot of advantage of their tools that they got.
Yeah, that was going to
That's a very
be
good point.
that was going to be one of my points. Is the information that comes out of ISAC is just amazing. They're quick to share. When you're a member, they are very quick to share information on vulnerabilities that come out. Their image hardening, those types of things. We're getting ready to start working on doing some of those things as well. The free tools, and they actually have some other network monitoring that members can use for free. So if you're not a member, definitely value there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Helen. And just to throw it out there, MISAC does also have some paid services. For example, we use their intrusion detection system called Albert. And we're looking at this coming year for 2 other internet pipes that we have coming in to make sure that traffic gets monitored. So that's been very helpful as well.
Yeah, that's a great one. They're a fantastic resource. For instance, like we just got that alert this morning. I'm sure some of you saw about the VMware vulnerability, and we get those things almost before they're available to the public or as soon as they're available. Like MSISAC emails come in almost instantly, so you can really stay on top of it, which is fantastic. Is anyone actually using their the CIS benchmarking currently? I know, Helen, I think you mentioned that y'all were looking into doing that for the image hardening, but has anyone rolled that out or started using that yet?
We downloaded it, and just like Helen mentioned, we downloaded it, ran a couple tests on our computers, looked at the percentage we scored, and said we got some work to do. But it's really about us right now, just having the bandwidth to take those next steps to harden just the desktop level. But again, with the patching and just so you all know, I'm going to switch gears here, but the National Guard cybersecurity assessment, we did that. And then back to back, we did with the 911 board, the 911 PSAP cybersecurity assessment. So we have critical, high, medium, and low homework to-do lists, if you will, of things to get done and corrected. So we are constantly working on trying to find the time to harden the network and be compliant. And that's been challenging, but we're making progress. Criticals are taken care of. We're working on the high priorities now. And I would recommend that everybody sign up and reach out to the National Guard and take advantage of their cybersecurity assessment.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. We did ours earlier this year, and it was a fantastic resource to help us figure out where we were lacking or missing. And they were super easy to work with and extremely thorough. So that was a great experience, and I'll echo you and highly recommend anyone else. But if you get the opportunity to sign up for that, I definitely recommend you take advantage of it because it's a valuable service that you're getting for free.
Travis, if you don't mind, I'm curious, what is everybody using for, we've been using No before for security awareness and training, trying to shape behavior. And, the end user, they just got to click on the link or the attachment. Is there any other solutions out there that anybody's using? Somebody was talking to me about something that was free. And I don't know if it's still out there, but, you get what you pay for too. So just curious if anybody has heard of that other solution.
I am not. We're currently using KnowBe4, and I'm researching proof points offerings as well, since we use them as our mail gateway. But like you said, I've seen some like free things that out there that you really, really not automated, like some other things. If there's any free tools that are easy, great. But trying to, do it with 1,200 users, however many users you have, and keep up and keep track and report on it, I think that's an area that you've got to spend a little bit of money to, or we felt the value in spending the money on it to get the return where we can get the reporting and see which users are clicking on every single link that comes in, regardless of what it says. We have a few of those. So yeah, does anyone else have other options you're using for that or things you've seen?
So we've just implemented the SANS program. They open up a volume purchasing for government accounts. And it actually, if you purchase it outright during the normal year, it's pretty expensive. But when they open up the cooperative purchasing or whatever they call it, it is pretty reasonable. So we've actually moved into mandatory IT training, and we will do mandatory training for the entire organization by the end of the calendar year. So that's the route we've gone. It's through Litmus.
So you're talking, is that the same type of training like KnowBe4, or is that
Yep.
just other training opportunities as well?
It's all security. We did the security piece.
Okay.
I actually think I'm looking for it now. I think I just got an email that the new purchasing window has opened up. I'll have to find that.
So Travis, this is Kevin with Forsyth County. I echo what Tim Knowles has put. He's with the city, but he put in the chat comments, InfoSeek IQ. We also use that at the county for our phishing campaigns, as well as our security awareness video campaign for 2,000 employees. And but that's provided free through AIG, since we're using them through our cybersecurity insurance. So I've also checked out KnowBe4 and some of these others, but it's hard to beat free right now. So as long as they're providing that, we're using that technology, and it's pretty good. I mean, I think the last time around we were using TechGuard, and they were using a different company. They were using e-learning videos, but now they've switched over to InfoSeek, and these videos have been pretty good. Employees have had good response from them.
Hey, Kevin, I got a question for you. Are you with a municipality or a county?
County.
So I was wondering, if you are a county, does the Association of County Commissioners with like cyber liability insurance so that's where you're getting InfoSec from?
Correct. Yeah. Because our AIG is who the county and the city both have for our cyber insurance, and it's coming through them and approved through them, and they're providing that as part of the service.
Okay, I appreciate you mentioning that. I'll have to look into that. That's just one more resource to us.
Right. Because we've asked to, there's a possibility that, if we don't meet certain security standards coming up, that AIG might drop us because they are dropping other people. But some of the other meetings we've been in and talking about with some of the other cybersecurity policy holders says they're, they have discounted rates on some of this that they're providing, but not many of them offer anything for free. But this is, is around a $17,000 to $25,000 a year savings for us right now by using that for the past 2 years, based off of our other research of trying to find something comparable to this.
Wow. So it's free. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of insurance does offer additional free things that you may or may not be aware of. So it's worth getting your policy. If you have a cyber insurance policy, I would definitely sit down with whoever your rep is on the other side and see what all they provide. Because I've heard other people find some things like that they do have security awareness training or just some useful things that you can get your hands on that you're already paying for. That's a very good point. We're trying to renew ours now and we're dealing with the same issues of there's some new stringent requirements they want. So we're very limited in getting our the options we have. I think there's only 2 providers that gave us quotes back this time around. So if anyone's renewing their cybersecurity insurance, get ready for some little more difficulties now.
All right. Hey, Amy, I saw that you put in there that DPI does provide No B4 for free for schools. I know kind of like the E-rate realm, would that qualify for libraries? I might have to reach out to them, but if we could save some costs there on our library, employees, it's worth saving some money, right?
All right, Eric, I think it is just schools.
Okay.
I don't think it is a E-rated. I think it probably came through CARES money. I just noticed that Emma commented on this as well. So she might know different, but I'm pretty sure it's just schools.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Amy, what is the DPI you referenced there? I just want to try to get some more information I can share with our school system since I just want to make sure they're aware of this resource.
It's Department of Public Instruction.
Okay, thank you. So many acronyms, can't keep up with all of them.
I know.
Trying to go back and catch up on the chat, make sure no one had any additional questions there.
While you're doing this, Travis, Emma said it was part of the CARES money that the state held back for cybersecurity.
Know before mentioned a lot. Someone asked about Ningio. We looked at them briefly. They have some very good options too. It just wasn't as good a fit for everything we wanted to do because Know4 had a lot better like built-in HIPAA training, and since we have healthcare and things like that, that was a real big hitter for us. Is why we kind of stuck with Know4. Just they had a lot of pre-built things that really hit what we needed. But Ningio did look, I think it was a little less expensive, if I remember correctly. I think someone, InfoSec IQ, someone mentioned through the cybersecurity insurance. Okay. Yeah, a lot of good stuff on that. Another fun question I came up with is, what is one item or thing you can't live without in regards to your security stuff? Even if you got to fight for the funds. For us, it's our mail gateway. Once we switched to our new one, it cut down the amount of spam and phishing like to a fraction of what we had before. And we use Proofpoint if anyone's curious, but just keeping our users, just even removing the ability for them to do dumb things is huge for us because everyone has users that will click on anything. So does anyone else have items that you'll fight for in your budget to make sure you keep?
I'll throw this out there. Barracuda Essentials, their cloud solution. We're doing their backup, spam, archiving, and then we roll to the cloud, and it's provided the same tools you just touched on. But we would be in a world of hurt if we did not keep those type services. So you know, that's another one to throw out there is the Barracuda Solutions.
I've used their mail gateway in a past life, and it was really, you know, it was fantastic. We were trying, when I left there, they were working on looking at doing their backup solutions and everything as well, just because it was their support was good and their product was really easy to use. So yeah, I've enjoyed them in the past. The Proof Point's been fantastic for us in the mail front. Sentinel-1. Oh, that's lovely. We're actually looking, we're going to be researching them soon because endpoint protection is something we're looking at now. Are you pretty happy with them as a provider?
Yeah, so we originally used Trend Micro when I came to the county, and I was able to get everything over and, you know, priced reasonably for Sentinel-1. But the big thing for me that I enjoy about Sentinel-1 that really brings a lot of, you know, added benefits is the ability to isolate that host from the network if, you know, a malicious file is detected and executed. Just from that alone is why I'm such a big contender for Sentinel-1. And I know that all of the EDR solutions pretty much have it now, but, you know, once you fine tune, you don't even have to fine tune it, but once you get a couple exclusions in play with Sentinel-1, like I have not had any issues. And we've got the, I guess, the top tier license that allows us to see deep visibility. So it allow us to see where files lay on host machines across the network. I don't know, it's just a good product all around.
How was the implementation? Was it pretty straightforward getting it going? I mean, did you have a partner help you set it up and then take over, or how did you roll that out?
No, we did it ourselves. All it really was is you add a exemption or an exclusion for your existing AV, and then you deploy it whatever your preferred method is. And then once it's in play, you just uninstall the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll throw this out there. We're a S1 shop. After several of our local government entities, you know, county municipalities started getting hit with ransomware, we looked at, you know, I don't want to mention anybody specific, but we had some folks that we trusted, and they did a lot of research. So we reached back out to them, and they were a S1 shop. And I will tell you this, out of all the different endpoint protection outfits we worked with, I definitely like S1 the best. I will tell you some of the tools and the insight you get down, as we already talked about here, the file level is awesome. Remediation, the whole 9 yards has been a good experience for me. What I love the most though is I don't have to touch every single computer. I could select all the computers and push out the latest package, the update, and all those machines are updated. So that's a great thing. We looked at like Sophos and who else out there? There are like 4 or 5 of them we looked at, but we went with S1.
Excellent. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are saying Sentinel-1's a great product, so I have to move that to the top of my list. All right, so last question, chat. They have been using AMP with Umbrella for a year now. Is anyone else using that, or AMP with Umbrella? Not familiar with that one, Brant.
This is Bob in Rocky Mountain. We actually use Umbrella on the DNS side externally, but we also are a S1 shop inside. So both of those in combination are more than wonderful, I have to say that.
Okay. Looks like there's quite a few in chat also using the Cisco AMP.
Yeah, but when you start looking at S1, it could get fun if you're doing AMP and S1 at the same. You're going to have to pick one of those and go in that singular direction, not both, probably.
Okay. Yeah, we briefly looked at the Palo Alto Traps, but they were very, very proud of that product, so quickly got off our list.
Well, this is Brent Meredith from Burke County. I asked a question. I figured it'd be easier to talk rather than type. We started using AMP last year. We're kind of still in a trial phase with it. Well, we're beyond trial, but we've just been kind of testing it out for a year. We, like everybody else, a lot of us came off of Semantic the year before last year. And so we have been we're kind of still in the courting phase with AMP and Umbrella. We really like Umbrella, basically blocking things on it. It's a couple of VAs that you install and you put it in front of your domain controllers, your DNS, and it handles requests and processes. If it's an internal request, it processes it on through to the DCs. If it's an internet request, then it looks at the block allow list and blocks things like that. But AMP is the one that we're still not quite 100%, not quite 100% sold on. At least I'm not. So that's why somebody said, you'd either be an AMP or Sentinel-1. That's kind of what we would do if we were going to move away from. If we were going to move to Sentinel-1, we'd move away from AMP.
Travis, I got another question for the group. Is anybody running, and I know there was a free version of Nessus, but we actually have a paid subscription. I didn't know if anybody else was running Nessus or familiar or pretty good with it. Not that I'm looking
Eric,
at anybody.
We're in the process of implementing Tenable Nessus scanning as part of our managed security services from Agio. We're moving from Alien Vault for network monitoring, security monitoring, to Stellar, and they're adding Tenable for Nessus scanning. So we'll have that up and running here in the next few weeks.
Okay, cool. So I might just, check that out.
Yeah, I'll tell you the managed security service that we use from Agio, they're good, and it really helped me sleep at night knowing somebody was monitoring the network 24/7. They're not cheap, but they do a good job.
Well, Helen, I appreciate that. I think there's two options. Either you have somebody like Travis on your team, or you have to outsource, or you do a combination of. So maybe there's three options. But
that's what we do. We do a combination of, but we're not managing. We're not watching the firewall and firepower and all those things all day long anymore. They're doing that for us. So yeah.
I'd chime in on the managed service. We did Arctic Wolf. This is Tony Godwin with Spring Utilities. And we've had Arctic Wolf for a little over a year now, and that's really enabled me to be able to sleep better at night.
Yeah.
Johnny, I might need to reach out to both you and Helen and just kind of see what kind of services they're, that they offer, but ones that you went with and paid for, and the value of that. Because I got to do a cost benefit analysis and try to sell that to leadership and the board. We tried it about a year and a half ago, but it was a hard sell due to.
It's not cheap. That is true. But we were looking at it, but it's cheaper than getting another FTE. Trying to hire another person on your staff when you've been told that you can't get any more FTEs, you got to work with what you got.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, exactly what Helen's saying. Like having that, because we have a hosted like a SIEM SOC that we use also. That just having that comfort that 24 hours they have technicians monitoring, so if they get an alert, like a critical one, they know when to call us, and we haven't had anything major yet, but it's just nice having that additional coverage to watch your logs and that like everyone here, we all have a shortage of staff and we're all wearing multiple hats and spread extremely thin. So we can't have a dedicated person monitoring those things all the time. So you can feel free to reach out to me as well. I can share like who we're using our status with that, or what we're dealing with them and everything. And then back to the Nessus side, we use it. I am not very good at it. That is something I'd love to see someone host a session on setting up using automated Nessus. because there's a lot of things you can do. I just do the bare minimum necessities because they're getting time. 'Cause I think a lot of people have, I think there's some DSS requirements now for the social services that we have to do stuff annually for them. And then with, HIP, there's vulnerability assessment or vulnerability scanning requirements. So either you have to do it yourself or get external partners to do it. So yeah, it's fun.
We're the same boat, Travis, and I'm sure all the DSS shops that have to support them, have to do that with their NetSys templates that we got. But, that's something we've actually, and they've been on it the last 2 years. So, it's a requirement now.
And I got to feel like we're going to see more and more of that for various areas. We just had a 911 audit. Our 911 center had an audit assessment. There were some new requirements coming that they're talking about that aren't requirements yet, that I just feel more areas are going to have some of these requirements to show that you're doing your due diligence on the security side. So it's a constant battle.
On the subject of 911 real quick, are your 911 components VLAN'd off, firewalled off, both, or how does everybody do that?
Our city handles our 911 center. We were involved in the assessment, just kind of helping out a little bit. But I think they are segmented off and separated.
Yeah, I'll just share for Pender. We're segmented off firewall to firewall. However, the ports that we've allowed open, for example, Manage Engine, Service Desk Plus or Desktop Central. So our customers have access to our ticketing system from the sheriff's office. Those type of things we've opened up, but to be CJIS compliant, we made sure that we've done everything we can. Somebody that's really good at CJIS compliancy, her name is Helen Nelson, and she's in the room. She might chime in.
I think she said she had to jump off for another meeting.
Okay, yeah, she's a great resource for CJIS.
Here in Burke County, we manage our 911. They have their own virtual network, or they have their own VM environment. They have their own switches. They have their own VLANs. They have their own firewall. So they're segregated from us, and we have a strict access control that basically allows members of IT to be able to get into that network externally. But other than that, they're segmented off fully.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. We've got a couple of firewalls in place where it's fully firewalled off, and specific ports that are open to allow certain things to pass through. I was just wondering, that's sort of new with the AT&T side of the world and the audits that most of us have just completed.
Just curious, Travis, if I may ask another one. We're also running What's Up Gold, and I didn't know, from a security perspective, if What's Up Gold is able, or some type of network monitoring tool. I know there was a big ordeal with the, oh gosh, help me out here, the other product recently, the competitor. But with What's Up Gold, we've had pretty good luck. It's nice to know that if something's going down or we have power issues, whatever the case may be, that we get some type of alert notification, and we can also dashboard it and see what our network looks like and the impact to our network if something was to happen. Just another perspective or a way to see the entire network.
That's another one I want to look at.
In Burke County, we use What's Up Gold too. We like it a lot. It works really well. It usually lets us know stuff's down before we know it's down. Sometimes it beats the phone calls.
Gotcha. Yeah, we just started adding all our devices to it. And of course, in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten a lot of notifications, but beyond that, from a security perspective, I didn't know if there was anything more we can do with that type system. We have had a couple meetings with, I forget what they're called now, for What's Up Gold, but those seem to be very productive for my operations team.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a SEAM or a log aggregation, like that's going to also provide additional useful stuff, especially if you start looking at the hosted SEAM SOC. Just the additional, all the logs they get are going to help when they start tracking down issues. If you get someone in your environment doing things, not necessarily just malware or whatever, if they start messing with your switches, your switch configs, any of that, so just tying all that together is huge. And there again, I know we're still working on getting our log aggregation better for us. We're limited what we can do. Our hosted SIEM SOC is based on nodes, and each node is one log source basically. So I'm sending my firewall logs and our main servers, and then I have a consolidated sys log for all my switches that's going as well. So there's a lot of, I can't get every server in there, can't do all that until I get some true log aggregation. The tools like that What's Up Gold, I just pulled it up to look at it. We're using Manage Engine Op Manager, which has a lot of the similar stuff in there. But I just a quick glance at this What's Up Gold, I want to look into this more, because it looks like their dashboarding is a lot better, honestly, than what we currently have.
Yeah, they were holding us off to upgrading to the latest version because there was some cool stuff coming out. But as a team, gets ready to close out that project, I'll be getting an overview of it here in probably the next few weeks. So I'm curious to see what that dashboard looks like. They want to ooh and ah, so they got a surprise.
Yeah, because visibility is king. If you don't know something's wrong, you can't fix it. So just any kind of visibility you can get into anything is always helpful for us, especially from a security perspective. If you don't know there's a hole there, you can't close it. And also establishing your norms, like knowing what looks like normal traffic, what your bandwidth looks like on a normal day. Then you start noticing the spikes and have things that can alert you when things are outside the norm. Like that's always a good indicator that you may not notice from just a log. It's just seeing abnormal behavior of some kind or another. And that could just be someone that somehow managed to start streaming something they weren't supposed to, but it may be something a lot more nefarious. So it all goes back to, if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah, someone mentioned earlier with the, someone was asking, can you give a ballpark price for What's Up Gold? I have not looked into them yet. I don't know if any of you guys can speak to it, if you have like just a low estimate of like price per device monitor, however they do it.
Yeah, if you want, you could hit me up offline, Eric Harvey with Pender County, and I'll share a little bit more about What's Up Gold and cost and some of the more, logistical information on purchasing.
Okay.
I don't mind answering questions.
And Christopher Ward was asking, does anyone have their public safety department VLAN off from the rest of the other departments? I can say at Gaston County, we definitely do. Public safety is kind of their own entity. They're managed by the city, but they're definitely segmented off and separated. So I'm going on time. Okay. See, something else someone mentioned earlier, I think when they were discussing the umbrella piece, was some additional DNS monitoring. And back to MSISAC, that's a service that they offer that I can highly recommend. It's their MDBR, which is malicious domain blocking and reporting. It's a free service they offer that you change your DNS forwarders to this, and it will check all like bad known domains and all that and block additional stuff. I have dozens of block lists on our Palo Alto firewalls, and this is still catching more stuff every week. So it's just another additional layer that's free. And then they give you a report every week on your top 10 bad domains that people are hitting. And that's helped me go and track back to like who the users were finding this, and whether it was through advertisements or what, or something. So again, users doing stupid things they shouldn't be doing, which happens. So that's the malicious domain blocking and reporting. Like I said, MSISAC, highly recommend logging in and checking them out. If you're not a member, it's free. Do it. There's so many great things they provide.
Like blocking malicious external IPs and all that good stuff. Is that what you're referring to? Okay. All right.
Yeah, like this is just, yeah, it's just, there, I'm layered, don't give up what you have currently. It's just another free layer to add on top. Because we all know there's no one magic bullet. Like, we just got to protect as many different layers as we can, from the endpoint all the way out to your perimeter. And that's where free resources are fantastic, because then we have our limited budgets we can spend elsewhere.
So I wanted to ask the group this too, and I don't want to get Randy Kress real busy. Amy, are you still in the room?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Not too long ago on the listserv back in March, at the end of March, Randy was talking about a Shodan membership, SHODN.
Yes.
And I reached out to him offline because I figured all the listserv would be trying to hit him up at once. I was trying to work with him to have our external IPs added to that service. Is that a NCLGISA service?
I think NCLGISA does. It's a strike team service, but NCLGISA does probably foot the bill on that. And there may be somebody on here, strike team, that knows better than I. Rob Hudson's on here, so he'd be a great one to ask as well.
Okay.
But those are monitored all the time. If you have not given your external IPs for your county, you should. If you're on here in your K-12, they're already on there. We monitor those. I get alerts all the time. If he sends the K-12 ones to me, he probably still monitors them. But so it is a great service. It tells if anything's open or there's anything, that you should worry about. Rob, you want to jump in because you know more about it than I do?
Yeah, Amy, you actually addressed everything about that. Yes, the strike team does have a Shodan license. I don't know how many devices they can look at, but we were watching. I know we were watching the K-12s, but I think there were other entities that were plugged into it. I'll check with Randy and find out.
I'm pretty sure we have enough license to cover all the counties in the state.
Yeah, I'll just share, and I appreciate that, Amy and Robert. What I wanted to do was just kind of mention that, only because if I could give to a trusted source those externals and have them monitored again, that's better for us, and it didn't cost us a thing.
Yeah,
and,
definitely. Mark Sillenbacher, Randy, Ted, any of those people would be the people to get that to.
All right.
They have admin rights within Shodan.
Okay. And I think I was trying to hit Randy up. I didn't know if it gives us any reports but to your point, you were talking about alerts. So that's good.
Yeah. If you get an alert, Randy or one of the guys from the strike team is going to be in touch to let you know.
Gotcha.
Eric, yes. What happens is if one of your IPs gets flagged for specific things, you'll get an email back that basically says, "Hey, this service is open," or "this status has changed." A lot of times it'll notify you if one of your external facing websites, the certificate is expired and things along those lines.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I was looking forward to see what it actually reported on and kind of seeing that, but I think Randy is trying to let it go for at least a month before I could get some good intel.
Yeah, I think the strike team has a talk either today or tomorrow. I can't remember where it was on the agenda, so they can probably help explain some of that in there too after they get done with their updates. For anyone wanting more information on the Shodan setup and everything.
Oh, Travis, one more thing. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking a lot.
Oh no, I'm glad. Thank you.
For those S1 shops, has anybody enabled the local firewall? I'm just curious what we have here at Pender, but I'm just curious if you all are taking advantage of that as well. If not, that's something we might be able to discuss offline or be a resource to you all as well. If that's, a product you have and you haven't done that yet. Just curious. It's a great way to manage the local firewall on all your computers.
Yeah, because you're making this sound even more interesting to me, because like trying to do the firewalls through group policies an adventure.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So having a centralized management of the local firewalls would be amazing. Can you have like policy based for different groups of computers?
Yeah, I
Like so
believe,
different ones get different firewall rules?
I believe so. And I'll preface this with any more responses regarding that I got to give credit to the ops team. They're the ones who really get hands deep in it. So if you do ask me a question, of course, I may have to ask them and, you know, share a little more in detail what they have been able to accomplish. But I do know that I was a cheerleader in the corner saying, yeah, let's do that. So
I just remembered one more free resource that I found a great use. I'm going to drop the link in chat here too. It's called What to Log. It's a free project that they're collecting like ideal logs from Windows 10, Windows servers, things like that, and including the scripts to enable the logs. To really, it's been a huge time saver for me trying to get some of my logging policies better. So they just go through and have a description of like what you're logging, why, and they're getting the scripts to do it. So that's been a really cool resource I found.
hey, Amy, question for you. Does this sound familiar? And I know you all seen some of the emails on the listserv from Tom McGrath at the Fusion Center. I didn't know if anybody can recall what actual services Tom provides. I know he works closely with MSISAC and reports and making sure that if anything's coming out through state ITS and their cybersecurity folks, that, you know, it gets pushed down to the listserv. But there was a third party they were working with at the Fusion Center that would give us some more insight and data back on, oh gosh, I'm just trying to remember. It's been about a year.
Yeah, he works very closely with the National Guard. There's like different sections.
Yeah.
And I know he's usually one who starts organizing events, you know, and he works with DIT, you know, all of those, the strike team, National Guard, they have a forensics unit. He just pulls all those people together, and you know, when they have an event, and gets it kicked off and started. He's just kind of the liaison. And there again, Rob, you may want to jump in if you know more than what I'm saying.
Hey,
Well,
Amy, this is Carly Sherrod. I'm
Hi,
actually,
Carly.
hey.
there you go.
There's this resource.
I joined you guys late. For those that don't know me, I work directly with Tom. I'm also detailed at the Fusion Center and detailed to the North Carolina Joint Cybersecurity Task Force. So I can speak a little bit more to some of those programs. So I'm sure you're all familiar with some of the co-funded ones, like the iSensor program for local governments through DIT. We also have BitSite, which gets along to that MDBR. It's pretty similar to that.
That was a BitSite.
Yeah, BitSite. Yep. So that is free to most local governments, to include most municipalities, as well as K through 12 organizations. We have a lot up there. And just for the team's knowledge, if you're not aware, the National Guard, in partnership with the task force, we've put together a continuous monitoring program. So what that means is we actually have full-time people now that sit in a SOC and actually look at those BitSite and iSensor alerts, in addition to you all receiving that information if you're a part of the program direct. And we do actually hit you up as well when we see something, especially if it's a high severity alert. We'll ping you and just say, hey, did you see this? Hey, you know, are you tracking this vulnerability? Additionally, over at the Fusion Center, we have several open source reporting platforms that come in. So one of the things that we're partnering with the National Guard with is, you may or may not know the vendor, they're called Recorded Future, but they have a very, very robust cyber intelligence reporting platform where they link a lot of pattern and trend analyses related to like dark web forums and things of that nature, that they can report out on what they call intelligence cards. So we're working with them. And we actually just sent the request out to the IT strike team to get information from you guys about what are some of the tech stacks that we can add into like our Boolean searches for that program. So some of the stuff we're looking at are like Cisco switches and Palo Alto firewalls and some of the common technology in which you all use down in your organizations that we can kind of help monitor when there's a new and upcoming vulnerability and alert you to that. Additionally, we work extremely closely with the FBI, the Secret Service, all the law enforcement partners on the side of cybersecurity threats. So anytime that there's a cyber incident and you're needing more information or a new malware, we actually had a banking industry that reported in Proofpoint, it caught this new malware called Azure Torch. I'll type it in the chat. None of us had ever heard of it before. And so it's actually like a leading case that we're working with our federal partners to try to kind of investigate what this looks like and what's their MO, what are their TTPs, their tactics, techniques, procedures into infiltrating that so that we can work on some white papers to get down to you all. So it's up and coming. There's a lot of programs that we're doing that are for free to local government institutions and our critical infrastructure partners. So if you're interested in taking advantage of that, just reach out to me or Tom McGrath or both of us directly to the strike team. They're always with us on all the calls. So they're a great resource into that. And I'm happy to talk more in depth offline or during this meeting, whatever pending questions. So thank you.
Thanks, Carly.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a great info. We're coming up close to time. Does anyone have any other questions that you want to ask the group to see if there's anything we can help you with that you're looking at? Any other issues before we start shutting this down? All right. Got one more sponsor I need to thank, but first of all, I want to thank all of you for your time, especially for participating. There's a lot of great information. I've taken a lot of good notes for myself and things I'm going to share that I'm going to look into. Once we find a way to post this, I'll either post it to the NCLGISA forums or we have this, all the stuff that I've collected and we can add to our, combined knowledge. And as always, feel free to reach out to me if there's anything specific that I discussed that you would like to ask more about. I'll drop my email in the chat here as well. And Carly's dropped hers. Thank you very much. It's another great resource is through them as well. All right, so our other partner that helps sponsor this is New Horizons. New Horizons has 39 years of experience delivering public sector training solutions to virtually every government department and agency. They're experts at making the most of federal, state, and local agency resources to improve operational efficiency, optimize cybersecurity efforts, and meet the latest legislative requirements. Contact them to learn more about government purchasing programs and GSA contract pricing. I know a lot of people use them and they have a lot of valuable resources. So they are a great partner. And it's thanks to our partners that we can have this wonderful conference. So definitely go visit their booths, talk to them and everything else. Thank you all very much for coming out today. We're going to have the Birds of Feather sessions or just kind of an informal security things in the morning. So feel free to come to those and we can talk about any other topics, or you can, if you have items you want to discuss in there, you can email me ahead of time and I can bring them up or whatever. So thanks a lot, guys, and we enjoy the rest of the conference. And Eric, thank you very much for not making me talk the entire time. I really appreciate your participation.
Oh, you're welcome. Team effort. Thanks, Rob. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant so I could send spam.
Oh,
I'm just messing.
hey, we'll know where it goes, where it came from.
That's right.
Just don't sign it up for a bunch of distribution list.
Oh, gosh.
Like, leave me on the list.
There you go.
Don't start that again.
Travis, I didn't realize you had been around that long.
That will be a forever meme in NCLGISA world.
I just think we should have had t-shirts printed.